करुणाकर सूरीन्द्र गुरुवर्य पदाम्बुजां नवनीत नटोत्तंसां गुरुपंक्ति श्रियन्नुमः. Namassabhaye. Very happy to be a part of this Virat e-Satsangam today. It's a great bhagyam for Adiyen to be a part of this platform which bears this name called Virat. When Adiyen was commanded by Bhagavatas to speak a few words for this forum, the entire inspiration for the speech came from the name Virat. Virat is a Vedic name. The all-supreme being is termed as Virat Purusha. And here, this term Virat stands as an abbreviation for Visishtadvaita, Ramanuja and Adiyargal. So these three terms are actually what Sampradayam is today. Adiyen was told by Bhagavatas to speak about how to bridge Sampradayam in today, how to practically practice Sampradayam. So I think these three words in Virat, that is Vishishtadvaita, Ramanuja and Adiyargal, give us the guidance to actually how to follow Sampradayam today in the most effective manner. So let's take up Visishtadvaita first. Visishtadvaita is the philosophy shown by our acharyas on which we follow. If we get into the textbook definition of Visishtadvaita, it is called as qualified monism. Adiyen is not going to go to all those technicalities today. Basically, Visishtadvaita means Advaita, which is Visishta, meaning the single one which is qualified. This gives us a message. We need to have single-minded faith in certain things, but have some kind of understanding as to how to suit our practices without giving up on the basic crux of the faith. We need to have complete belief in Shastras and try to follow whatever Shastras say, because Shastras are nothing but Bhagavad-agnya, the rules of conduct which has been laid down by the Lord. And the Lord himself says that the one who follows Shastras is very dear to me, and the one who would violate the Shastras will be somebody who has betrayed me, will be a drohi to me. Agnya chedi mama drohi, he says. So following Shastras is of that kind of importance in our Sampradaya. Now this may sound a bit scary. What do we mean by following Shastras? And if we don't follow, then we are displeasing the Lord, so on and so forth. Here, the right understanding is most important. When we say Shastras, we need to understand what are the bare minimum basic things that we are expected to follow. For example, a person who has undergone Upanayanam must be doing Sandhyavandanam thrice daily. This is a basic thing to be done. This is a non-negotiable thing, a thing which should be thought of as something which cannot be compromised on. Here, we have a particular time for each of these Sandhyavandanams during the day. One is to be done in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one at sunset. Is everyone able to do it at the given time? Shastras say, Kanamal, Konamal, Kanduvid. The argyam that is to be given is to be done at such times where the sun is about to rise, the sun is in the mid-sky, and before the sun sets. Is it possible for everybody to do it at these particular times? Or, for that matter, are everyone doing it at that time today? The answer is no. But Shastras are very kind. They give you an option of doing an extra argyam to make up for not having done at the right point of time. So, the message that we get from this anecdote is that doing Sandhyavandanam is important. even if you're not able to do it at that particular second or that particular time, it is okay. Do not give up on doing this. So this is a message that Shastras have been giving us, elders have been showing us. Follow something which is being told in the Shastras, even if it means that you have to compromise a bit on the timing or on the place or so on and so forth. Like if someone were to say, I'm not able to do Sandhya Vandanam before the sun rises in the morning, so why should I do it? That's not the right approach. Instead of not doing it, it's better to do it in some possible way. So, try to have steadfast, single-minded devotion in Shastras which has been shown by our elders. And if it is not possible for you to follow exactly what they do, then approach them, ask them what is allowed as a compromise and try to fix and try to follow them. Little things like doing Achamanam daily is very important for ladies. Now technically, Achamanam is an act to be done for internal and external purification. An Achamanam should be done by a lady every time she feels that she's, been subject to some kind of dirt or some kind of impurity. For example, visiting the washroom. Now, it may not be possible for working women to do it at places of work. How is Achamanam done for that matter? We have a lot of videos relating to that. Anyways, since we are talking in the context, Adiyan will also explain what it is. For ladies, it's very simple. It's just that you have to sip water thrice, saying Achyuta, Ananta and Govinda, and this is done in doubles. In the sense, you do it twice. Achyuta, Ananta, Govinda, Achyuta, Ananta, Govinda. Now, it may not be possible for a woman at a workplace to go and sip this water and do this Achamanam. So should she give up doing the Achamanam? The answer is no. Instead of sipping the water and doing Achamanam, you might as well just recite the names of the Lord there and think in the mind that you're doing Achamanam for the sake of the Lord. For every karma, there are two aspects. One is what is done as sankalpam in the mind and what is actually performed. So when you're not actually able to perform the act, at least if it can be done in the mind as a sankalpam and say recited, like instead of actually sipping the water, if you can just recite the names also, it will be perfectly fine. It will still be considered as an Achamanam, of course in the compromised manner, but in the mind you think that, oh Lord, I have not been able to do the Achamanam in the way it is supposed to be done, but please accept this maximum thing that I can do at this point of time. So the bhavam counts. So this is where Adiyan is trying to put the postulate that it's important to have steadfast faith with adaptation to time and place. So this is the first point. This is an idea which I got from the word Visishta Advaita. Next, Virat talks about Ramanuja. Ramanuja is the great reformer of all times, we can say. Swami Ramanuja could create a difference to Sampradaya. The reason was that he was a leading example and he took everybody into his fold. So these two things are extremely important to make Sampradayam survive in today's times. It's very important to include everybody and have satsangams like these so that Sampradayam thrives not just in the society but in our own hearts. Many a times it becomes difficult to follow certain things all alone. Like we lose the conviction, we lose the interest over a period of time. But if we have like-minded people surrounding us who are doing the same things, then it becomes very motivating to do the very same thing. Another thing that Ramanuja showed, as I just said before, is leading by example. The most important thing for Sampradayam to survive is to get the next generation follow it. So we want our kids to get into Sampradayam. So we want them to learn what Sampradayam is giving or that Sampradayam is good. We want them to get interested in Sampradayam. All this will happen only if we show them that we are interested in Sampradayam. We like to follow what it is. We feel it is the best thing that can happen to us. We feel it's a treasure which we have got from our ancestors. So that impact has to be created in kids by the practices that we do. Simple practices like elders of the house doing Sandhya Vandanam themselves in front of children, ladies of the house lighting the lamp, chanting shlokas. All this should definitely be done such that they are noticed by kids. In fact, Adiyan's party used to always say that whenever there is Kalpurarti happening at home during Tiruvaradhanam, you should get the kids, you should call them and tell them to come and have darshan of the Kalpurarti and do namaskar. I mean, பெருமாளை சேவிக்கணும், விழுந்து சேவிக்க சொல்லு குழந்தைகளை அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவா பாட்டி கல்புரார்த்தி ஆரப்போ. So that gives them a practice that whenever there is Kalpurarti happening, they are supposed to go down to the Lord. So these things are daily practices which will make a big difference to them. Another very common aspect that Adiyan have been observing of late is that many parents say that as kids we did not have so much of exposure to Sampradayam as our kids have today, all thanks to technology and e-satsangams like this. That's a big boon that today's kids have. So it may so have been that in our younger times we have not been able to learn as many stotras or prabandhams as our kids are getting to learn today. So it's Adiyan's humble request to parents that in case you've not had the opportunity before, please make use of the opportunity along with your kids. Learn along with them. Make them by heart. Recite Tiruvai with them. It's a beautiful experience for the kid as well as yourself. Learning is always beautiful. It always enriches you as a person. And there's no good time for learning. There's no age bar for learning. So always make use of the opportunity. Learn with your child. Practice with your child, and that will motivate the child to learn faster. In fact, probably he or she may feel encouraged that I am able to learn much faster than my mom or dad because of the age advantage that they have. So that may be motivating for the child also to learn. So it's very important to lead by example and to be all inclusive. That was the second point that came as an inspiration from the word Ramanuja. The third thing is Adiyargal. Adiyargal is a very beautiful term, very, very particular to our Sampradayam. Our Sampradayam is all about doing Adimai, doing Kainkaryam to Lord Narayana. And it's very important to have that spirit of Kainkaryam, that humility within us always. It may so happen that we may be blessed to do some kind of Kainkaryams. So that shouldn't get into our heads and we shouldn't end up thinking that okay, I've been able to earn so much money and contribute so much, say for a Samprokshanam or for some big event. That shouldn't get into our heads as, that we are doing the Kainkaryam. It's never us. It is Him who's getting the Kainkaryam done through us. It's His Sankalpam to make us perform some kind of Kainkaryam. So, to remain humble and grounded about anything that we do is again very, very important. So, in this Virat Satsang today, Adiyan took all the clues and guidance from the name Virat to speak about these three things. The first being steadfastness in faith with adaptation. The second being all-inclusive and leading by example. And the third being humble and grounded always. So, all the best to all the UK Bhagavatas to have more and more such Virat Satsangams, and it's Adiyan's Parama Bhagyam to be a part of this beautiful Satsangam. Dhanyasmi. Jai Jai Shri Sudarshan.